thank you for joining me for another edition of the Zigfrak Devcast. In this edition, I'm gonna show off siege platforms and a pretty planet. This bit of video here was recorded with Snaps Pro with the game at full size, but Snaps was just recording the central area of the screen, so there's stuff off to the side that's not there. So in this scene, the central ship, the ship in the foreground, I call that guy the Redeemer. He is on the Free Runner or Independent faction, and he's going up against one of the Enforcer's siege platforms, that big ship. It's big, it's got like 12 guns, and they each have independent targeting, and the ship itself has a crap load of health, and it's a little laggy, as I said, because of the way I recorded this, and also due to the fact that there's lots of new stuff going on. I'm really experimenting here. There are more projectiles and guns and ships here than I typically have in a scene, and I'm trying to optimize to have more and more and more and more, because I just want it to be a complete shitstorm. This is, you know, this is okay. There's a lot of stuff going on, but my goal is to have so much more going on in the screen. Planet down there is, call it Gaea, and in the Zigfrak galaxy, it is one of the very, very few Earth-like planets that are known about, and this makes it very, very precious and very, very valuable to whoever controls it. It provides lots of resources and gives everyone a cool place to go to the beach and have fun. Not really. You can't really go to the beach, but it's a nice planet, is the point. It's got a couple moons. This system is kind of a analog to the Earth system with some differences. It's got a hot gas giant towards the center, and it does have a larger, cooler gas giant Jupiter-type planet out yonder with lots and lots of moons. You can see Cassiopeia in the background. That's one of Gaea's moons. And I kind of just pulled these names out of a combination of my ass and the internet, so they're subject to change. I'm not very confident in my ability to name things, so there's the other moon, Sahara, kind of a very dry moon. But anyway, in the last Devcast, if you watched it, you should if you haven't, I was talking a little bit about how I wanted to add big ships eventually, and this is what it currently looks like when there are big ships in the scene. The big ships have an insane amount of health, and their presence in a system is meant as a deterrent for other factions, and it establishes your faction in that sector to reap whatever resources are available to be reaped. That said, I should probably also point out that resource accumulation happens automatically. This is not a resource gathering game. This is a game of combat and trade. Combat and commerce. I know lots of people get into the gathering aspect of certain games. I mean, if you've seen my World of Warcraft videos on my YouTube account, you can tell that I like to play that game, and you know, I do enjoy going out and hitting the occasional mining node, but that's not what this game is about. The resource accumulation happens in the background. You know, you've got your big ship, and the assumption is that it is conducting its own resource gathering operation, so that you don't have to micromanage all that crap, and you can focus on killing and accumulating credits and items and cool stuff, money, power, all that. Mostly though, money and power. Yeah. You may have noticed that the alien race is conspicuously absent from this scene. That's because at this point in time, this is kind of a prototype of the campaign aspect of the game. And they don't know about those aliens yet. Right now, they're just busy kicking the crap out of each other without any other care in the universe. So there are two layers of gameplay really going on in Zigfrak. There's the large ship layer and the small ship layer. The large ship layer is kind of a tick-based lockstep simulation that is governed by what happens on the server, on the server side. So it's a shared experience across all the clients that are connected to the game universe. So, if one player moves his ships into a particular sector, the other players in that sector have to deal with that presence, however it may be. The small ship layer is locally simulated, and the actions you perform in that local simulation are they contribute to various scores and counters and things of the sort that are sent back up to the server, so that the server knows kind of what's going on in your local little version of reality, and that contributes overall to your faction's success and over time to your own accomplishments and progress as a player. So it's kind of spore-like in that regard, in that the simulation happens locally, but there are aspects of other players' local simulations that kind of bleed over through the edges into your own little reality. So I did this partially because physical simulations across multiple clients is hard, not impossible, but hard, but it opens up the door to so much cheating and abuse that I don't have the time, or really, honestly, the knowledge or skills to deal with at this point. So, and it seems to me that letting the server side process with the big ships drive the local simulations with the small ships, and reaping people's contributions from those efforts, I think it's going to work out. I really see the mechanics of that working out within a game. It's kind of an uncharted territory. Other games have tried, syncing those large physical simulations, and it suffers from, what they call rubber banding, where you're snapping back and forth, and it's really crazy, and all kinds of other issues. I mean, so I'm cutting some corners, making some compromises, but I think it's really going to be a good approach for this style of game. You're still going to get that interaction with other players in the form of the big ships and their stations and commerce, trade, chat. So it's going to be a different kind of thing though, but still fun, hopefully. If you haven't noticed, I really love particles. Oh god, I love particles. This is, I call this the kill zone effect. It's the area where everything is blowing up, and you don't want to be in it. So, that's all the time I have for this edition of the Zigfrak Devcast. Playable demo is at zigfrak.com, zigfrak.com.